Hi, welcome to our C tutorials, and today we'll discuss about the topic called operators in C programming language. Operators. So let us see a couple of operators in our C programming language. So first one is arithmetic operators. So first of all, let me change the font size. Okay, arithmetic operators. These are plus, minus, star, slash, and percentile. And second one is arithmetic assignment operators. An assignment operator. Okay, so equal to is an assignment operator which is used for assigning a value. Okay, so an arithmetic operator followed by an assignment operator, we call this particular thing as arithmetic assignment operator. So plus equals to, minus equals to, star equals to, slash equals to, and percentile equals to. These are arithmetic assignment operators. We will see these particular behaviors. So first of all, let me list out a couple of operators in our C programming language. Then next one is unary operators. Then these are something like plus plus followed by minus minus. Then fourth one is something like conditional or comparison operators. These are something like greater than and less than followed by greater than equals to followed by less than equals to followed by equals to. Here you need to provide double equals to and not equals to. So why we are utilizing double equals to? Because single equals to already utilized as an assignment operator, which will be used to assign a value to the variable. Now if I want to compare whether both variables are holding the same value, so in that case we are using double equals to. Okay, then next one is something like fifth one, relational or logical operators. These are something like and followed by or followed by not, and or not. Okay, so arithmetic operators are used to implement arithmetic operation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and quotient. Arithmetic assignment operators are utilized for implementing similar to the arithmetic operations, but it is going to implement assignment operations also, where the result of the expression is getting stored in the left side or left variable. Generally we call that one as left operand. We'll discuss that particular thing. Unary operators are used for incrementing a variable value by 1 as well as decrementing a variable value by 1. Conditional or comparison operators will be utilized for implementing the condition, whether the first value is greater than second value, or first value is less than second value, or first value is greater than or equals to the second value, or first value is less than or equals to the second value. Both the values are equal and both the values are not equal to each other. And if I am providing more than one single condition, these particular conditions will be getting separated using these particular logical operators and, or, and followed by not. Okay, so first of all we will see about these particular arithmetic operators, a simple demonstration on arithmetic operators. So let me say something like turbo C. Okay, yeah. So first of all, let me close all these particular windows. So file new, and let me add the standard syntax hash include, let me say stdio.h, hash include, let me say conio.h, followed by void main, clear the screen, and get ch. So first of all, let me utilize couple of variables int a, b, c. Then let me say printf, asking the user to enter two numbers. Okay, then move the cursor to the next line. followed by scanf. Let me accept both the values at a time, percentile d, comma, first value I am going to store it in the variable a, second value I am going to store it in the variable b. So ampersand a, ampersand b. So for the confirmation, what I want to do, I just want to print these particular values in the output window. So first of all, give a line gap, then say a equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line, b equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line for twice, comma a, comma b. So first of all, let me compile the program and run the program. So let me enter two numbers. So I just want to say something like 10 and 3. Just wait a second. Now 10 and 3. So what is happening? We are getting something like a equals to 10 and b equals to 3. Yeah. So I'm just printing the values of a and b. Now what I want to do, I just want to implement arithmetic operations. So plus, minus, all these particular things. So let me say I just want to store the result in the c variable. So c equals to a plus b. So let me print the value in the double quotation. Let me say sum equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line, then display the value of c. So compile the code and run the code. So enter two numbers. So let me say 10 and 3. So we're getting a equal to 10, b equals to 3, and sum equals to 13. So let me find the subtraction. So c equals to a minus b. Then let me say printf in the double quotation, subtraction equals to percentile d, then move the cursor to the next line, comma c. So let me run the program. So enter two values, so 10 and 5. So we're getting a equal to 10, b equal to 5. So sum equals to 10 plus 5 is 15, and subtraction equals to 10 minus 5 is 5. Similarly, let me implement multiplication. Now I don't want to utilize this particular c variable. I just want to display the result directly in the printf. So what I'll do, just say printf multiplication equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line. So in place of c, what I'll do directly, I'll say a into b. So let me compile the code and run the code. So let me say something like two numbers are 10 and 3. So 10 plus 3 is 13, 10 minus 3 is 7, and 10 into 3 is 30. Then followed by, let me say printf, and when it comes to the division, we are going to find two values, quotient and remainder. So if I want to implement quotient, so let me say quotient equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line. For finding the quotient, we are using slash. So a slash b, which is going to find the quotient. So compile the code and run the code. So 10 and 3. So 10 divided by 3 is 3 3s are 9. So 3 is the quotient, and 10 minus 9 is 1. So 1 will be the remainder. So let me say printf in the double quotation, say remainder equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line, comma a percentile b. Now let me compile the code and run the code. Say 10 and 3. So you are getting remainder as 1. Okay. So this is some basic operations that we are implementing using arithmetic operators. Okay. So we have done with this particular arithmetic operators. So let me go with arithmetic assignment operators. So how we are going to utilize this particular arithmetic assignment operators, let us see. So what are these particular arithmetic assignment operators? An arithmetic operator followed by an assignment operator. We call this one as arithmetic assignment operator. Similar to the arithmetic operator, so what is happening? These particular arithmetic assignment operators are also getting enclosed within the variable. So let me say a plus b. So here also this particular operator is getting enclosed in between the two variables. Now here when it comes to let me consider the example called a plus b. So let me say a plus b. Here plus is an operator, plus is an operator, and followed by a and b, we call it as operands. A and b are operands. So the variable which is specified to the left side of the operator, we call this particular variable as left operand, and the variable which is provided to the right side of the operator, we call it as right operand. operand. Small mistake. Okay, so left operand and right operand. So here our operator is plus equals to, and A and B are operands where A is left operand and B is right operand. So what exactly happening when it comes to this particular arithmetic assignment operators, we'll see. So we have something like A plus equals to B. So whenever we are saying this particular A plus equals to B, which is same as A equals to A plus B. So whenever I am saying A minus equals to B, which is same as A equals to A minus B. So whenever we are saying A star equals to B, which is same as A equals to A star B. Similarly, whenever we are saying A slash equals to B, which is same as something like A equals to A slash B. And finally, whenever we are saying A percentile equals to B, which is same as A equals to A percentile B. So if we are able to implement this particular operations using standard mathematical expression, then what is the need of utilizing this particular arithmetic assignment operator? We know that these particular logics internally getting converted into the binary format. Assume that for this particular standard mathematical code, internally for each statement it is getting converted into the 5 individual statements. So I'm just assuming that this particular A equals to A plus B, internally it is, when it is converted into the binary format, so what is happening, it is generating something like 5 statements. So in that case, what is happening, this particular A plus equals to B, once it is converted into the binary format, so it is going to have only something like 3 statements. So in that case, executing these particular 3 statements is much more faster than executing this particular 5 statements. In simple words, we can say that arithmetic assignment operators will be executing a bit faster than the standard mathematical expression. Now let us see how this particular internal behavior is getting executed. So whenever I am saying A plus equals to B, how it is implementing A equals to A plus B. Now in that case, we know that whenever we are having any expression, so let me consider C equals to, let me say A plus B. So in that case, what is happening, is it going to split this particular C value in A and B variable? Some part of C value is getting stored in A and some part of C value is getting stored in B? No. So whenever we are having equals to, so what is happening, first right hand side will be getting executed. Now first it is implementing A plus B operation. Now once the operation is performed, the result of this particular operation is getting stored in the left hand side variable. So we need to concentrate on this particular equal to, means the operation is getting performed on right hand side and the result of the operation is getting stored in left hand side variable. Now when it comes to this particular A plus equals to B, if I am removing this particular equals to for the time being, so what is the operation that it has to be performed? Nothing but we need to perform arithmetic operation on A and B variables. Now whenever we are getting the result of this particular operation, so the result of the operation has to be stored in the left hand side variable of this particular equal to. So if I am removing this particular plus, so what is happening, the result of this particular right hand side, so nothing but A plus B is getting stored in the left variable, nothing but A. So in that case, whenever you are saying something like A plus equals to B, A plus equals to B, which is same as A equals to A plus B, which is not same as, nothing but which is not equals to A equals to B plus A. Why? You can see over here. So whenever you are saying A minus equals to B, which is same as A equals to A minus B, which is not same as A equals to B minus A. Similarly, whenever we are saying A slash equals to B, which is same as A equals to A slash B, numerator is A, denominator is B, which is not same as A equals to B slash A, which will be similar to this particular A percentile equals to B kind of thing. Okay, now So I can say that either A plus B or B plus A, or I can say that A into B or B into A. But when it comes to the internal mechanism, which is same as A equals to A plus B only. Okay, which is not same as A equals to B plus A. So because we cannot say something like, whenever you are saying A minus equals to B, which is not same as A equals to B minus A, because the result is getting changed over here in these particular expressions. So let us see programmatically these particular arithmetic assignment operators. So my earlier program is having these particular things. So I don't want this particular C variable, and let me remove this particular C variable, and let me remove all these particular things. Okay, so here what is happening, we are accepting two values. So let me compile the code and run the code. So 10 and 3, so we are getting A equals to 10 and 3, we are getting A equals to 10 and B equals to 3. So if we want to provide these particular values as the constant values for these particular variables, so simply what we can do, directly we can assign the values called A equals to 10 and simply let me say B equals to 3. So for the confirmation, what I'll do, I'll just compile the code and run the code. So here we are getting something like A equals to 10 and B equals to 3. Now what I want to do, I just want to perform the operation A plus equals to B. Within the comments, I just want to provide what exactly is happening when it comes to the operation A plus equals to B. So it is going to perform A equals to A plus B. Now let me say something like printf in the double quotation, let me say A equals to percentile D, move the cursor to the next line, B equals to percentile D, move the cursor to the next line for twice, comma A, comma B. So whenever you are saying A plus equals to B, which is same as A equals to A plus B. So we are having A value called 10, B value called 3. So 10 plus 3 is 13, that will be getting stored in A. Now A is holding the value called 13 and B is holding the value called 3. So compile the code and run the code. So we are getting A equals to 13 and B equals to 3. But I just want to show the confirmation message. So let me say printf in the double quotation A plus equals to B is the operation which is same as A equals to A plus B. So here which is not going to perform any operation because this particular content is getting displayed in the output window. Okay, only we are displaying this particular message. So as the content is provided within the double quotation, simply using the printf, the content is getting printed in the output window. Now let me go with the next operation, something like A minus equals to B, which is same as A equals to A minus B. Now let me print this particular same operation in the output window. A minus equals to B, which is same as A equals to A minus B. Then move the cursor to the next line. So once we are implementing this particular operation, let us print the values of A and B. So let me say A equals to percentile D, move the cursor to the next line. B equals to percentile D, move the cursor to the next line for twice, followed by comma A and comma B. So in the previous step, we are having the A value called 13 and B value called 3. Then we are implementing A minus equals to B, which is same as A equals to A minus B. A minus B means 13 minus 3. So that will be 10, which is getting stored inside A. Now A is holding a value called 10 and B is holding the value called 3. Then let me implement the third operation, A star equals to B, which is same as A equals to A star B. Let me print this particular same operation in the output window, A star equals to B, which is same as A equals to A star B. Then move the cursor to the next line. Once we are implementing this particular operation, so let me print these particular values. A equals to percentile D, move the cursor to the next line. B equal to percentile D, move the cursor to the next line for twice, comma A and B. Now when it comes to our previous output, A is holding the value called 10 and B is holding the value called 3. So whenever we are implementing A star equals to B, which is going to perform the operation called A equals to A star B. Now here A equals to 10 and B equals to 3. So 10 into 3 is nothing but 30. Now 30 is getting stored inside the A. So A is holding the value called 30. Then B is holding the value called 3, as we are not performing any direct operations on B variable. Followed by, let us say something like A slash equals to B, which is same as A equals to A slash B. So let us print this particular same message in the output window. So let me say printf in the double quotation, our operation is a slash equals to b, which is same as a equals to a slash b. Now once we are performing the operation, let us print this particular result in the output window. So let me say a equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line, then b equals to percentile d, then followed by move the cursor to the next line, comma a, comma b. Now in our previous step we can see that a equals to 30 and b equals to 3. Okay, so in that case what is happening, now we are performing the operation called a slash equals to b, which is same as a equals to a slash b. So a equals to 30, b equals to 3, so 30 divided by 3 is 10, which is getting stored inside a. Now a equals to 10 and b remains same. Finally the last operation, something like a percentile equals to b, which is same as a equals to a percentile b. Let us display this particular message in the output window. So we are going to perform the operation called a percentile equals to b, which is same as a equals to a percentile b. Then move the cursor to the next line. Once we are performing this particular operation, let us print the values of a and b. So let me say a equal to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line. Then b equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line for twice, comma a, comma b. So compile the code and run the code. As per our previous output, a is holding the value called 10 and b is holding the value called 3. Now we are performing the operation a percentile equals to b, which is same as a equals to a percentile b. So a equals to 10 and b equals to 3. So 10 percentile 3, 3 3s are 9. And 10 minus 9 is 1, so 1 will be the remainder which is getting stored inside a. Now a is holding the value called 1 and b value is not getting changed, as we are not performing any operation on b variable. We are utilizing the value of a, but we are utilizing the value of b, but we are not performing any direct operation on b. So in that case what is happening, this is a small demonstration related to arithmetic assignment operators. An arithmetic operator followed by an assignment operator, we call this particular concept as arithmetic assignment operators. Now let us go with the next one called unary operators. Unary operators are plus plus and minus minus. So plus plus is an increment operator and minus minus is an decrement operator. So what is happening, whenever we are saying plus plus, the variable value is getting incremented by 1. So whenever you are saying minus minus, the variable value is getting decremented by 1. Let me consider an example. Let me say int a equals to 25. So now what is a value? A value is nothing but 25. Now whenever I am saying a plus plus, now in this particular step, what is a value? Here a equals to 26, nothing but 25 will be getting incremented by 1. Now whenever I am saying a minus minus, so in the previous step what is the a value? Nothing but 26. Now what is happening? Now this particular 26 will be getting decremented by 1. So now a value will be 25 because the value is modified. Okay. So in that case, whenever you are implementing plus plus, nothing but increment operator, now this particular a value is getting incremented by 1. So whenever you are utilizing minus minus, nothing but decrement operator, nothing but this particular a value is getting decremented by 1. So let us see a demonstration related to this particular unary operators. So let me remove all these particular content. Yeah. Now let me hold an a value called 25. For the confirmation, let me print this particular a value. So in the double quotation, let me say a equal to percentile d, then move the cursor to the next line for twice and display this particular a value. So what is happening? We are getting a value called 25. Okay. Then what is happening, let me increment this particular a value. So a plus plus, after incrementing, let me print this particular a value. So a equals to percentile d, then move the cursor to the next line for twice, comma a. Now what is happening, now here this particular a value is incremented by 1. Now a is holding the value called 26. So if you want a confirmation message, let me say printf, and what is the operation we are performing, a plus plus, then move the cursor to the next line. So initially we are having the value called 25. After implementing a plus plus, now a value is modified to 26. Then let me implement decrement operator. Let me say a minus minus. Let me print this particular operation in the output window. So let me say a minus minus, then move the cursor to the next line. So let me say something like printf, and I want to print the value. So a equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line for twice, then display the a value. So in the previous step, a value is modified to 26. Now that particular value is getting decremented from 26, the value is decremented to 25. This is how we are utilizing this particular unary operators in order to increment or decrement the variable value by 1. So if I want to increment a variable value by 1, we are using plus plus operator, and if we want to decrement the variable value by 1, we are going to use minus minus operator. So where plus plus is an increment operator and minus minus is an decrement operator. Now before getting into this particular next part, so let us see various operations that we can perform using this particular unary operators. So we can perform something like pre-increment and decrement followed by post-increment and decrement. So let me implement something like performing pre-increment and decrement. So when it comes to this particular thing, what do you mean by pre and what do you mean by post? So this particular unary operator, plus plus or minus minus, either it may be increment or decrement. If I am providing this particular operator before any variable, we call this particular operation as pre, as plus plus representing increment operator. So we call this particular operation as pre-increment. Now the same thing, if I am performing this particular plus plus operator is provided after the variable, we call this particular operation as post increment. Similarly, minus minus operator is provided before the variable, we call this particular thing as pre decrement, as minus minus is a decrement operator. And if minus minus is provided after the variable, we call this particular concept as post decrement. So let us see what are the various operations that we can perform using this particular pre and post increment and decrement. Yeah, pre and post increment and decrement. So as per this particular initial part, so first of all, let me discuss about something like performing pre-increment and decrement. For this, what I want to do, I just want to perform a small operation. Let me say something like a equals to 25 and b equals to 0, which are of integer type. So let me say int a equals to 25 and b equals to 0. Now at this particular stage, what is the a value? A equals to 25, and what is the b value? B equals to 0. Now what I am doing, I'll just perform a simple operation, b equals to a. Now what is happening, a value is getting stored inside this particular b. Now at this particular stage, so a is holding the value called 25 as well as b is also holding the value called 25. Now as I need to perform the operation called pre-increment and decrement, so you need to make sure that this particular increment and decrement operator has to be provided to the right hand side operand, right operand. So what I'll do, I just say something like b equals to plus plus a. So this is the main operation. So what is the main operation? So here, according to, if I'm comparing this particular thing, the a value has to be getting stored inside b. If I'm removing this particular plus plus, so what is happening? the A value is getting stored inside this particular B. But what type of operator we have utilized? Arithmetic increment operator, and which is provided before the variable. So whenever we are providing before the variable, we call this particular concept as pre-increment. So what do you mean by this particular thing? What do you mean by pre? Pre means before. Before what? Before the main operation. What is the main operation? A value is getting stored inside this particular B. So before A value is getting stored inside B, so first we need to implement an operation called plus plus A. Nothing but A value is getting incremented. So what is the A value in the previous step? 25. Now what is happening? A value is getting modified to 26. Now once this particular operation is completed, then it is going to perform the main operation, nothing but the A value. So what is the A value right now? 26. Now this particular 26 is getting stored inside this particular B. Now B is also holding the value called 26. So pre-increment, pre means before. So in that case, before A value is getting stored inside this particular B, so the value of this particular A has to be getting incremented. Why incremented? Because you have utilized plus plus, and that too before the variable. Pre-increment, before A value is getting assigned to the B, the A value has to be getting incremented. That is the meaning of pre-increment. Now what is happening? And decrement. So in that case, what I'll do, let me perform the operation something like B equals to minus minus A. So in that case, what is happening? What is the main operation? A value has to be getting stored inside this particular B. But what we have provided, minus minus before the variable A, so it is going to implement something like pre-decrement. Pre-decrement. So before A value is getting assigned to the B, so first what we need to do? We need to decrement the A value. So what is the A value in the previous step? 26. Now what is happening? A value is now getting decremented to 25. So once the value is getting decremented, once the A value is getting decremented by 1, now this particular modified value will be getting assigned to the B. Now B is holding the value called 25. Now once we have done this particular thing, let me go with the next operation, something like performing post increment and decrement. So here the same values, so let me say something like A equals to 25 and B is also equals to 25. So A equals to 25 and B equals to 25. So here we are performing something like post increment and post decrement. So here what are the A values? So A equals to 25 and B is also equals to 25. Now what I'll do, let us implement post increment operation and post decrement. So we are saying post means B equals to A plus plus. The operator has to be provided after the variable. So if you are providing after the variable, we call this particular operation as post increment. If the decrement operator is provided, we call this particular operation as post decrement. So in that case, what is happening? Post means after. After what? After the main operation, nothing but after A value is assigned to B. So what is the A value? 25. So whenever you are saying A plus plus, so first what is the A value? Nothing but A value is nothing but 25. Now this particular 25 is getting assigned to the B. Now in that case, what is happening? We can say something like B equals to 25. Then what is happening? This particular A value is getting incremented. Now A value is incremented from 25 to 26. Now we are having A equals to 26. Then what is happening? Let us go with something like post decrement. So B equals to A minus minus. Post means after. After what? After the main operation. So first A value is getting stored in B. So what is the A value in the previous step? 26. So first 26 is getting stored inside this particular B. So B is holding the value called 26. Then what is happening? This particular A value is getting decremented. Now A value is getting decremented from 26 to 25. So now A is holding the value called 25. So if you analyze this particular content, so in the pre-increment and decrement, both for both operations, increment and decrement operations, both left hand side variable and right hand side variable are holding the same values. Now, sorry, in the pre-increment and decrement, both left hand side and right hand side variables are holding the same values. But in the post-increment and decrement, left hand side variable and right hand side variable are holding the different values. So let us implement this particular program performing pre and post increment and decrement. Yeah. So let me provide the values called a equals to 25 and let me say comma b equals to 0, and I just want to say equal to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line, b equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line for twice, comma a, comma b. Then yes, so compile the code and run the code. So we are getting a equals to 25 and b equals to 0. Then let me implement a simple message printf. I just want to say pre-increment and pre-decrement. So I just want to make sure that this particular thing is a heading. So what I'll do, I'll just provide a heading kind of structure. So let me compile the program and run the program. So what is happening? It looks like an heading. Now what I'll do, I just want to perform the operation, say b equals to plus plus a. Then after performing this particular operation, printing the value of a and b. So let me say a equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line. Then b equal to percentile d, then move the cursor to the next line for twice and printing the values of a and b. So compile the code, run the code. So what is the operation that we are performing? I just want to print it in the output window. So what is the operation? B equals to plus plus a. Then move the cursor to the next line. So compile the code, run the code. So initially a equals to 25, so b equals to 0. So whenever you are performing b equals to plus plus a, so in that case what is happening? First a value is getting incremented, so 25 is getting incremented to 26, which is getting stored in b. So a is holding the value called 26 as well as b is also holding the value called 26. Now let us perform a pre-decrement. So I just want to say something like b equals to minus minus a, and let me print this particular same message in the output window. So b equals to minus minus a, then move the cursor to the next line. So once we are done with this particular operation, let us print the a and b values. So let me say a equals to percentile d, move the cursor to the next line, then b equals to percentile d, then move the cursor to the next line for twice, comma a, comma b. Now compile the code and run the code. Now as per our previous output, so a is holding the value called 26 as well as b is holding the value called 26. So whenever we are performing the operation b equals to minus minus a, so in that case first a value is getting decremented. So from the 26 a value is getting decremented to 25. Now this particular a value is getting stored inside b, so in that case b is also holding the value called 25. Now let us perform the next operations called performing post increment and decrement. So let me say something like printf. I just want to display a message called post increment and post decrement. Then what is happening? Let me provide this particular thing as an heading. So let me use equals to or any of these particular things, star or hyphen, it might be anything. So in that case simply it is going to display it as an heading. Now let me implement this particular operation, say b equals to a plus plus post operation. So let me display this particular operation in the output window. So b equals to a plus plus, then move the cursor to the next line. Now once we are done with this particular operation, let us display the values of a and b, then move the cursor to the next line for twice. So compile the code and run the code. So as per our previous steps, a equals to 25 and b equals to 25. So whenever we are performing post increment, so in that case what is happening? First a value is getting stored inside this particular b, nothing but 25 is getting stored inside the b. So b is holding the value called 25. Then later on a value is getting incremented, so in that case a value is incremented to 26. Now let us implement something like post decrement. So we are implementing, say, b equals to a minus minus, and let us print this particular operation in the output window. So b equals to a minus minus. Once the operation is performed, let us print these particular values of a and b. So after printing a and b values, just move the cursor to the next line for twice and print the values of a and b. So in the previous step, a is holding the value called 26. So in that case, whenever we are performing the operation b equals to a minus minus, so first a value is getting stored inside this particular b. So in that case, b is holding the value called 26, then followed by a value is getting decremented. So from 26, a value is getting decremented to 25. So these are the operations that we are performing using the unary operators. So apart from incrementing a value by 1 and decrementing the value by 1, apart from incrementing and decrementing a value by 1, we can even implement something like pre and post increment and decrement. Okay, so these are some of the operations that we can perform using unary operators. Then let us go with conditional or comparison operators, followed by relational or logical operators. We cannot perform these particular conditional or comparison operators directly on the variables, as we have implemented arithmetic assignment and unary operators. In order to implement this particular conditional or comparison operators as well as relational or logical operators, so we need to use the concept called conditional constructs. So what are the conditional constructs that we are having in this particular thing? Something like if else, and that's it, if else. Okay, so under this particular if else, if I want to provide any conditions, so we are going to use these particular conditional operators. If multiple conditions has to be separated, then we are going to use these particular logical operators. Okay, so before getting into these particular things, okay, so first we need to learn about the truth tables related to these particular and or not. So we know the truth tables from our academics. So when it comes to the and truth table, so ampersand. So let us see. Condition 1, condition 2, result. So if condition 1 is true, condition 1 is true, condition 2 is true, result is true. Condition 1 is true, condition 2 is false, result is false. Condition 1 is false, condition 2 is true, result is false, and both the conditions are false, result is false. Then let us go with the next one, something like OR logical operator. So let me say OR. So OR logical operator. Similarly, let me implement this particular condition 1, condition 2, and result as well as this particular heading. Okay, now here condition 1 is true, condition 2 is true, result is true, and condition 1 is true, condition 2 is false, so result is true, and condition 1 is false, condition 2 is true, result is true, and both the conditions are false, so result is false. So AND is completely opposite to OR, or else you can even say that OR is completely opposite to AND. So how it is not true equals to true, here also true equals to true. So whenever we are getting these particular things, so we need to consider something like if both the conditions are true, so in that case the result is true. So what is the opposite to this particular true? False. So here if both the conditions are false, so the result is false. So if any one of the condition is false in the AND logical operator, if any one of the condition is false, the entire condition is false. If any one of the condition is true in the OR logical operator, so in that case the entire condition is true. So this is how AND is exactly opposite to OR. Similarly, OR is exactly opposite to AND. And finally, we are having something like NOT. So let me say something like NOT. NOT exclamatory mark. So when it comes to this particular NOT, you won't be having multiple conditions. You will be having the conditions and result. So when it comes to this particular thing, what is happening? If condition is true, result is false. If condition is false, then result is true. Now based on these particular truth tables, we are separating multiple conditions that we are going to discuss when we are implementing these particular conditional constructs called if else, where condition is getting provided using these particular conditional operators and multiple conditions are getting separated using these particular logical operators. Okay, thank you.